Okay, this is mass and acceleration. So we're just going to kind of look at some basic concepts of this. If you look here, I have a bus. If I scroll down, I have a Bugatti. All right. So both of these are designed for very different things. You know, what it comes down to is size matters, but size matters in the sense of what it is you're trying to accomplish. All right. Uh, Here we have a public bus. It has a far greater mass to that of the Bugatti. All right. So what that really means is something kids do or even grown-ups do. They confuse mass with weight. Weight is different um, compared to mass. Mass is the amount of molecular matter that makes up a thing. In this case, it's a bus. I think we can easily say the bus has a lot more molecules in this way, mass compared to the Bugatti. All right. So, I mean, if we're looking at these things, they're clearly designed different, but that is the purpose. All right. Whereas the Bugatti is clearly luxury and speed. If anything, it's more about speed than luxury. That's how most of these sports cars are judged, by their performance. Now, if we were to look at the bus, do you think it looks like it is uh, uh, created in order to achieve maximum speeds? And hopefully you don't say yes. All right. I would hate to race this bus against the Bugatti because it wouldn't stand a chance. But the thing is, this is where, mass does play a big part. The bigger an object is, or the more mass an object has, the more force is needed in order to accelerate it. All right. Meaning, this bus may actually have a bigger engine than the Bugatti. It actually does have a bigger engine, well, maybe not this one specifically, but this one operates on natural gas. But it is designed to create a lot of power, not for speed, because it's a very large object. And the thing is, it needs that extra bit of force in order to get it to do its job. And not even like briskly, like this is at its pace that it's supposed to do. Whereas the Bugatti has been supercharged with a big engine, more power than it really needs. And you can look at the shape of this thing and tell it's, aerodynamic, it's designed for speed and to look cool. You can't really say that about the bus. But anyways, there's less mass to the Bugatti. Therefore, in order for it to achieve these performance levels, they put a V12 engine in this thing that has way more power than it needs. Actually, the engine's strong enough to power this bus to get it to move around. But the thing is, it has more force than it needs. Therefore, it can achieve greater heights of acceleration. All right. When looking at these, it's quite distinctive. Let's look at, Lionel Messi and an offensive lineman. All right. Lionel Messi's like 5'4", um, probably like 120 pounds. This gentleman right here is 6'8", 340 pounds. Both are really, really good at their sport, but, sports aren't sports. Thinking about mobility here, Messi, the soccer player, has a lot less mass. Therefore, he can get around quicker. He can go for longer. I don't know how familiar you are with soccer, but it is a sport that demands peak physicalness or peak um, performance from the stamina point of view. Whereas this gentleman right here, his job is really to make sure the quarterback doesn't get hit. So both use force, both use acceleration, but if they were to reverse roles, I don't think they would be equally successful. The soccer player Messi, although legendary in his own right, if he were to be an offensive tackle, like the gentleman below, I don't think his talent or his mass could actually produce what he has in the game of soccer. And vice versa. This gentleman here, if he were asked to play for Barcelona in the attacking midfield position, I don't think he can. I wouldn't say he would be able to garner the results that Messi does. So this gentleman easily, it's his mass that makes him very good. Not to say there's no athleticism here, but being strong, being able to produce a force, is equally important. Let's also think about this. The bigger this guy is, the more force is needed to move him and essentially protecting the quarterback, And it doesn't matter, how familiar you are with either one of these sports. The point being is, being slender and small definitely helps in soccer. And being large and strong, having more mass, is something very, very important in football. All right. Let's look at something else here. So the two items I want to kind of bring your eyes to are the pencil, which has a lot less mass, and a sledgehammer. All right. Not the dude holding it, but the actual thing he's holding. The pencil has far less mass. We all use pencils daily. I have a 2-year-old at home. She can manipulate a pencil. It doesn't mean she can write, but she can pick it up. Doesn't take a lot of force in order to make the pencil accelerate, right? Whereas if you've ever picked up, like a 12-pound sledgehammer, not the easiest thing to, manipulate. Obviously, the sledgehammer has far more mass, making it imperative in order for you to use it, you have to use a lot more force. So the more mass something has, the more force is needed to generate in order to move it. Granted, whether it's a push or a pull. Something else. More mass something has, the more gravity it actually produces. Essentially, we produce gravity because we're made of matter, and this is a property of matter that everything that is matter produces. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but for another unit. But I want you to think simple. Bigger means more force is needed to be generated in order to accelerate it. Less mass means less force. So it's really, really simple, but you just kind of have to wrap your head around the vocabulary. But that's really it for today.